How to get a PhD position in Europe. I've studied 5 years at the university in Italy, and at the moment I'm holding a PhD position in Freiburg. In this video I will explain how to access European universities based on my personal experience. Ciao a tutti, I'm Ivan. Welcome to Empyreon, my Academy of Philosophy and Fine Arts. In this video I will first explain why I moved from Italy to Germany. Second, I'll explain how the PhD position works in Italy. And last, I will explain how the PhD position works in Germany. Currently I'm working in the field of philosophy, specifically on Immanuel Kant. But the system works more or less the same in the other fields as well. So I completed my bachelor and master in Milan, in Italy, and I decided to move to Germany to continue my studies as a PhD fellow. There are three main reasons why I decided to move from Italy to Germany to continue my studies. The first reason is because I study philosophy, and I focus my studies specifically on German philosophy. Therefore, moving to Germany and learning the German language and being able to master the language and read the authors in their original language was very important for me in order to get a better understanding. The second reason is that I don't like the way the PhD position works in Italy, and I'll explain shortly why. The third reason is that I wanted to learn the German approach to studies. I learned in 5 years the Italian approach, and I prefer to learn to see things from a different perspective. In case you're interested, I will make another video talking specifically about the differences of method about these two countries. So how does a PhD position work in Italy? Italy is a wonderful country with a very solid educational system. But just like in every other country, there are certain aspects that could be criticized. And one of them is that you require a lot of connection to continue in your careers, especially in the academic field. This is a general problem of academy, and everyone knows who is inside an academy. But in Italy, you start to feel it already at the PhD stage. So what does it mean? If you don't have an important professor who supports you inside the university that you're trying to apply for, it is very hard to get a position. This doesn't mean that it's impossible, but it's very hard. And the reason is that there is very few positions available, because there is not much funding from the state, especially in the field of humanities. So if, for example, there is only one place available that year, and you have to compete with someone who is part of that university, who knows the professors, who has been following the courses, who's been keeping in contact with those professors, if you both compete at the same time and they have to choose between a person that they know and someone who is a stranger, they would be more likely to choose the person that they know. But as I said, it's not impossible. I know people who managed to get a position even though they didn't have any contact inside these universities. In general, there is an official competition and you have to compete with all the candidates, making a test, and based on the score that you get a certain points at the end. What counts a lot in this competition is how good your project is and if you wrote articles or books. The good thing about the PhD position in Italy, which is also the reason why there's not many positions available, is that it comes together with a scholarship, so you don't have to worry about getting externally a scholarship. Usually the scholarship lasts 3 years with the possibility to extend it up to 6 months in special cases. Now, how does the PhD position works in Germany? Before you hear the answer, remember to check out our website where you can read very interesting articles, upcoming courses of our academy, and much more. So in Germany, there are two main types of PhD positions. One is the structured program, and the other one, the more classic one, is the individual doctorate. The structured programs are based on a research in a certain universities, and you can apply for them and you may get a position. Let's say, for example, in Berlin there is a project about the relationship in politics between Germany and China. You can send your application. If you're chosen, you get the position. As for everything, of course, there are good and bad aspects about each thing. This depends on the person who chooses the program. Something that is very good is that you gain, as in Italy, together the scholarship, and you don't have to worry about it. Something bad, or at least that I found bad, was that you have to work on a certain topic and you have to co-work with your colleagues It's a big research project, so you're not the only one who brings it forward. For me, being able to decide what I want to study was very important. This is why I chose the second option. The second option is the individual doctorate. How does it work? So first, you have to come up with your own idea, your own project, something that you want to dedicate your next years to. Then you have to write an exposé, which is a text where you express and you explain how exactly your research is going to be. There's not a specific number of pages that you have to write, but my personal was between 20 and 25 pages. So after you are ready with your idea and you have your exposé, you have to search for a professor who dedicates or who has dedicated his studies to the same idea that you found out. If this professor accepts you, you're gonna sign together a contract, and then you have to apply to university where this professor works. Each university has certain rules regarding accepting the doctorates. For example, for some you need to know German, for others you don't need it. For some you need 2 supervisors, for others just 1 is enough, but overall the procedure is the same. Once you get accepted, you begin officially your PhD. So the bad thing about this type of PhD is that later you have to find a scholarship on your own, or you find out another way to sustain yourselves. In Germany there are many ways to sustain yourself, for example working or through the scholarship. Now the good thing is that during this PhD you are completely free. There is not a limited time in which you have to complete the PhD unless you agreed upon a time with your supervisor. I know people that are doing the PhD since 10 years. This is also the reason why many people who work do in their free time a PhD. I will make a video about how to write a perfect exposé that every professor will accept from you. And another video where I explain how and which are all the possible ways to sustain your studies in Germany. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Ivan and this is Empyreon, my Academy of Philosophy and Fine Arts.